Many thanks for still being there. Of course, it's still Rise and Shine Daily, and we're beaming from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. Okay, so before we went on that break, we said we were going to be joining our guest who is going to be talking to us virtually this morning to look at some of the major allegations that have trailed the Tinubu Shettima candidacy. And just as we were reading some of the highlights on major stories on our national dailies now, obviously some of those things cropped up again, showing that Nigerians are particularly concerned with some of those issues that have been trailing the candidacy of Tinubu and Shettima. And joining us this morning to shed more light on some of these allegations is Dr. Tanko Yakasaya, who is the National Coordinator Grassroots Movement for Asiwaju Shettima. Good morning, and thanks for joining us all the way from Kano this morning.
Morning, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good morning, Dr. Yakasai. Would like to ask, how is Kano this morning, especially having had the president there yesterday and even the fallout of his visit yesterday? How is Kano?
Kano is fine this morning.
Okay.
So very soon, 11, it will be good now this morning.
Okay, so let's still hang in on Kano this morning. We also saw the president, commission a lot of projects in Kano State, and then but there was also a slight drama that happened, more like an unrest now. A lot of young people seen with sticks and clubs stoning the helicopter of the president. What would you say is the major reason of that action, and how has it been addressed so far?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is that the president yesterday, it's a huge success. Any of the project he came, that the people are waiting to begin with, and the land that is we start utilizing for industries.
Okay, so I think we are having some glitches. We'll just take a short break, Dr. Tanko Yakasaya. We'll take a short break now and try to fix that because we cannot hear your audio very clearly, and we'll not have a.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Oh yes,
okay, we can hear you now.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that the visit of the president yesterday was a good omen to Kano, and majority of the people in Kano were happy because of the project he came to commission, a project that we in Kano have been waiting for to be commissioned so that we can start enjoying them. The power generation that took place in Kano, which was commissioned yesterday, will lighten up our industries and make them functional again. The dry inland port would give opportunity for cargoes to be shipped to Kano and open instead of waiting for demurrages to gather in Lagos and crippling businesses. The road intersection, the bridges, quite a number of them have been beneficial. So I think the economy of Kano will be boomed due to this infrastructure. So I don't think if there is any skirmishes, it will be the opposition trying to water down the benefit that will come to the people of Kano.
So are you trying to say that it was the opposition that asked the young people in Kano State to hold stones and clubs at the helicopter of the president yesterday?
I didn't get you.
What I'm saying is there was a slight drama. We saw videos of young people protesting and stoning the helicopter of the president. Are you trying to say that this skirmishes is perpetrated by the opposition party?
Yeah, there will be miscreants because, as I told you, anybody who is right thinking and a young person knows that for you to have an opportunity for jobs to be created and you will be gainfully employed will be a disservice to any person in Kano to think that he will not be happy with such projects. So I think there are miscreants who may not have good understanding of the economic potentialities of the project that have been commissioned and executed by the good governor of Kano State and the president because some of them are local state projects, some are national owned projects.
Okay.
So at this point, it's good to see that Dr. Yakasai is not holding its sway over any, or it's not a matter of we think it's a political party that did it. Okay, so let's look into the Tinubu Shettima candidacy. A lot of questions are still being raised, and let's take you back to some conversations that we know that you are privy to. We had a particular APC stakeholder last week make the rounds a lot in the news, in the person of Nathan now. Now, she was raising a lot of questions and a lot of allegations against Tinubu and Shettima, as it were, as the things they have done, they are doing that fights against, their what we call it, their aspiration to become the leading face for this country. Now, let's break it down into, I would like to start from the fact that she alleged that having a conversation with Your Excellency Tinubu now, he said he did not have any blueprints or master plan for the people of the North. And we know that we saw Tinubu in Kano, yeah, that was a few weeks ago, just thanking the people, and he didn't particularly communicate anything he wants to do for the people of Kano or the people of the North. What is your stance as a stakeholder in this party, and of course in the PCC also, concerning this allegation?
Okay, I would like to say that Najatu Mohammed is my aunt. I grew up to see her sometimes in my house with my mom, and I have tremendous respect for her because as a young person I know her, and we call her Auntie Najah. But I want to say that a number of things that she said, when somebody is talking, it is the things that he's not saying that matters. If you look at her statement, she mentioned that she visited Tinubu and she asked him about what blueprint does he have for the North.
Yeah.
And he told her he doesn't, and she went to look for it and bring it to him, and she didn't have the opportunity to bring it to him. Now, I want to draw your attention and her attention to the fact that before the inauguration of the PCC, there was a town hall meeting by Northern elders in Kaduna. Tinubu attended in person, and in that event, he mentioned things and answered questions directly to his presidency and his plans for the North. Secondly, on the day that the PCC was inaugurated, there was at the same time launching of the blueprint of the manifesto of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And I tell you, in that document, if she has sat down and read it well, she would have seen that there are things that are beneficial directly to Northern Nigeria. Let me give you an example. In terms of the security incidences in Nigeria, just like she has mentioned, Northwest and some part of North Central are the ones that are hard hit by bandits. And his plans to provide security measures directly addresses the issue of insecurity in the North. Aerial use of drones and technology, increase in the number of military personnel, creation of battalions or barracks within these forests. These are things that he mentioned that would directly provide security within Northwest and those axes. Let us also look at what he said about agriculture, what she talked about agriculture. He talked about commodity board that will ensure that all these farm produce by our local farmers, the prices are set and determined by commodity board so that the farmers will not be disenfranchised or sell things at a lower price and do not make gains. That's a direct benefit to North. He also talked about improving loans to farmers and all those things, anchor borrower schemes that the current president is doing. He will also continue with it. Let's look at education. The North is one of the regions that is backward in Nigeria in terms of education. He talked about improving, creating opportunities for scholarship scheme. Between the North and the South, we know that the Southern people have the opportunity to pay for their fees. The North, with this increment in school fees, may not be able to pay for their school fees. So when you talk about loan, it's a direct benefit to Northern Nigeria. When you talk about the economic hubs and industrial hubs he's going to create in each of the regions, He made specific mention of the industrial hub in Kano that will create jobs by reviving manufacturing sector. He talked about improving in mining and ensuring that it's no longer done outside the official system, which he talked about. So these are things that he has mentioned in the blueprint that are directly beneficial to northern Nigeria. He talked about digital economy, where young persons who are IT savvy will use AI for their businesses. And in northern Nigeria, we know that there are young people who have studied computer science and what have you. And by creating this digital economy, they will be gainfully employed and take care of their family. When he talked about opportunity for young persons to be represented in governance, there will be 3 ministerial slots for those under 35 and 40, and additional 6 for those under 50. These are opportunity and boards of parastatals. These are opportunity for young northern Nigerian young people who have talent to also participate in governance. So I don't know what she is referring
invariably,
to that is not contained in the blueprint.
Invariably, you're saying that Tinubu has a blueprint for the people of Kano State moving forward.
The people of the North generally.
The people of the North generally.
Exactly. All these that I have mentioned are in the blueprint. If she had read it carefully, she would have seen how much tremendous benefit it will bring to northern Nigeria.
So it's gradually taking me to a very peculiar question I want to ask. But let's look at even more allegations that she has thrown at the candidacy of Tinubu and even Shettima. She says that he has an emperor mentality. And if you look at it, I know that from the beginning of the campaigns of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, there was the mantra, and we still have the mantra going, Emilokon. And he has also made several comments as to saying that someone like Atiku Abubakar should even step down for him. This one should step down for him. So do you think that this is in line with what Janatu Muhammad is saying, that Tinubu has an emperor mentality?
I don't think Tinubu has any emperor mentality. You see, in politics and in democracy, when people participate, they expect benefit for the generality of people, and they also expect benefit for themselves. When Najatu worked for Buhari before moving to ACN to work for the same Atiku, and remember, she stated that she worked with Atiku and Tinubu in 2007. So she knows Atiku, she knows Tinubu since 2007, and they have been working together. When she was part and parcel of the formation of APC in 2015, after the emergence of President Muhammadu Buhari, he gave her a slot as a governing council member of one of the universities. She turned down that offer because she believed it was not rewarding enough. That is our perception, because later on, when she was reappointed into the Police Service Commission, because she thought probably that is enough compensation, she accepted it and served in that capacity for how long? So if Tinubu had contributed, remember in 2007, the North wanted an opportunity and he gave it to Atiku. He gave it to Atiku. In 2011, he gave it to Ribadu. In 2015, the North was crying that it is our turn to complete our 8 years. It's the same thing as saying Emilokon or our Lokon or Gbogbo Lokon.
Okay, so would you now say that? Would you now say that what Janatu is saying is more like a personal vendetta on the APC and their candidate?
No, the point I'm making is that she said Emilokon. Then, if you remember, 8 years of his reign, and claimed and Southwest claimed it was the puppet of the North. In 2007, Yar'Adua won and died 2 years later. And North expected that at the end of 2011, Goodluck Jonathan would allow the power to return to the North. When he didn't do that, what happened? The majority of Northern Nigeria cheated and demanded for power to return to the North because it was their turn. And Asuwaju answered the call, and Southwest answered the call of the entire Northern Nigeria, answered the call of Buhari, and gave the complementary what needed for Buhari to win and for Buhari to return to the North. If we as North will demand that it is our turn to complete our term and we wait, I think it is not too wrong if Asuwaju and people of Southwest or South demand likewise that after 8 years of President Muhammadu Buhari's rule and having given his word and they're not giving their word, the presidency will go back to the South as a gentleman agreement for the peace and stability of Nigeria. So if Tinubu comes back to call that promise, I don't think it is good to say he's an emperor.
So why exactly is Janatu Muhammad spitting this kind of fire? That's the question a lot of Nigerians are asking. And that's what I'm asking this morning. Is it more like a personal vendetta or something? Because she's a member of the APC as well.
Of course, she has resigned as of now. She's resigned, and the APC is even saying we sacked her before she resigned.
Before she resigned.
Just a back and forth of covering what's really happening. So just before you answer whether or not she has, is this a personal grievance that she's, trying to express to all of Nigerians to buy in to her heart? But then again, another allegation that she raised was against Shettima now, saying that there's a particular alleged bandit that was in high search that was found in Shettima's house in his state. Now, we are talking insecurity at the highest form, and we are talking insecurity in the north. And she's saying there was, an alleged criminal that was found in his premises, and that raises a lot of questions as to what exactly would Shettima be doing with this kind of person in his house if that allegation is true. And again, why would we sweep these kinds of allegations under the carpet?
Okay, so let me start by saying that I think that she probably has a personal issue with Asuwaju. The reason being that, you remember, she said they started working together in 2007 under AC, and at the same time worked with Atiku. And she said there's no difference between Atiku and Asuwaju. Now, when she visited Asuwaju in London, she said in that interview, she asked him for the blueprint for the North, which he said in her own words that he doesn't, and I don't believe it. And she waited to have a blueprint. In the process, she accepted the offer of director of civil NGO, CSO directorate, and waited for 3 months. And she said it's because she said, please, because of God. Now, how can you reconcile what you said with what you wrote in a letter of resignation? That it is for the love of the country, for puritanism, for conscience. Do you need to wait 3 months to take a decision on your conscience when the condition that you mentioned was already existent on the day you had interview with Tinubu?
Maybe she was thinking they were going to come up with the blueprint.
Pardon me?
Maybe she was thinking they would come up with a blueprint and, some form of way for them to go ahead in a working relationship.
No, but what I'm saying is she passed about it on his health on that first visit. Does the availability of a blueprint 3 months later change the question of the health which she raised? No. Because if you come to a conclusion about somebody's health in your first visit, you don't have to wait for a blueprint to use it as an excuse and then go back to the old reason, because it doesn't change. So I think it's fallacious, it's superfluous, the argument she is saying. There may be other reasons beyond what she has said. And I told you in the blueprint, which I have read severally, 80-page document, renewed hope, action plan for better Nigeria. If she has read it, she will find answers to all those questions she is asking. So I think it's something more personal, and she is hoping to get what she didn't get from Tinubu in Atiku, and that's why she's moving there.
Okay.
So on the question of the insecurity,
yes,
pardon?
Fantastic.
Yes,
go ahead.
On the question of that, this matter, I watched an interview where Ruben Bati and Rufai said that she has made money, she has benefited from the government, and now she's teaching it. She said that those are ridiculous because they are allegations. Now, if she feels that what they are alleging that she has benefited is ridiculous, and she wants Nigerians to believe because she said it's not true, then also if she alleges or other Nigerians alleges something that is not true and clarification is given, she should accept it. The reason I'm saying this is that when that Kabir Zokoto was found, he was found in a government house, not the personal house of Shettima. And I'm telling you, I served as a personal physician to Konkoso from 2011 to 2015. And the people who are in charge of government lodges keep government appointees and some business people without even the knowledge of the governor. So it's not everybody that resides and that stays in the lodge that the governor is aware of. These are the people who run that lodges. Keep people busy depending
But
on the relationship
if a
with them.
supposed
So I don't think you are right.
if a supposed bandit is found in the government house, is that not a breach of security or something?
That's what I'm saying. It's a lodge, government, not government house. It's a government lodge, and the governor who rules a state, especially at a time of crisis, has no time to be deciphering who goes into a lodge and who comes out of a lodge. It is the responsibility of the people who manages those lodges, his staff, that ensure that people who reside in those lodges are people that have no questionable character. So you can't.
So
put
you
it
are
on the
saying
table
that
of the governor.
security agencies around like the personality of Shettima would allow, you know, these kinds of
I didn't
things,
say
bypass
security.
them.
It's governors' lodge are run by civilians who are civil servant. Go to Abuja. Kano's governor's lodge. They are run by a civilian.
Okay, let's move
To many
forward.
places. So I'm not talking about security agencies. I'm saying those civilians who are civil servants that run governors' lodges are the ones that decide who stays in the government and who doesn't. So it cannot be linked to the governor. Governor does not. It's too far below the purview of the governor and his radar. So you cannot directly associate it with Kashi Shettima.
Dr.
Put the claim where
Yakasaya,
squarely it belongs.
let's move forward now. Still talking
All right,
about
let's move.
Tinubu Shettima candidacy. Of course, sometime last week we saw the presidential flag bearer of APC now, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, saying that the recent money policy by the federal government and even the recent hike in prices of fuel and scarcity also is just a way of the government of the day scuttling his chances of becoming the next president of Nigeria. I know that there's been some lashes or you know some reactions from Nigerians in terms of this particular statement, and there's also been that damage control by the APC to cover up that particular comment. But what's your take on it?
So I've listened, I've watched over and over that video clip of his speech in Ogun. There was nowhere he made mention of the APC government or the ruling government. He only said they are sabotage.
Okay,
and
so we are just going to
an example.
You're just going to hang in there. We have a caller. Okay, so
All right.
we can do well to join the conversations if you're just watching and joining us. Of course, we are looking at some of the major allegations trailing the APC presidential candidacy of Tinubu, Bola Tinubu now Shettima. The phone lines are open, so you can be a part of that. But we are having a conversation with Dr. Tanko Umar Yakasiaya. Go ahead, sir, with your thoughts.
Yeah, so the point I'm making, I listened to that video and his speech. He only made mention of sabotage. And let me tell you,
let's quickly take a call, sir. Go ahead. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hi, it's morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling us from, please?
I'm the same person, Jibrin, calling from Gwagwalada.
Calling from Gwagwalada. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. I can say I heard both this Yakasa and Najatu very clear. Najatu said that he went to Tinubu in Lagos to present the blueprint. The Tinubu were dozing. One, when he now asked, he said that all the blueprint, they should pass through air Rufai. And this man is now saying that the all the blueprint has been submitted to Tinubu already. Najatu did not say. There is something I want to observe. The woman want to serve the nation, but some people want to serve themselves. If person can turn upside down and offer, they want to sacrifice for the masses. We should not put ourselves. That is a problem we have in this country. Let us be generalizing to satisfy the others. Look at how they throw stone on the president. Because the people were not benefiting. The woman said that when they voted for President Buhari, that they asked him that what they not want is this. He turned their offer upside down. I think you can see the result that is coming out now. That's my little observation.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much
for your call this morning. Dr. Yakasai, we don't know if you could hear our caller. Do you have any response to that? Hello, Dr. Yakasai.
Can you hear me? I'm talking.
Yes, go ahead now. We can hear you now.
I said, I'm trying to reconcile Antinaja's love for Nigeria and love for the North. When you talk about meeting Tinubu and you're asking, what does he have for the North? I would have expected as somebody who is patriotic to ask, what does he have for Nigeria? And I don't think that it will be right at this point in time, if Antinaja really stands for Nigeria, to move from the person who worked for Buhari, a northerner, House of Fulani, Atiku, a northerner, House of Fulani, Ribadu, a northerner, House of Fulani, Buhari in 2015, another House of Fulani, and at this point in time to still be talking about retaining power in the North for a House of Fulani. Does she stand for Nigeria or does she stand for Northern Nigeria? And you know, in any society where people keep talking about themselves and their region alone, it makes the country weaker. We must, as patriotic citizens, talk about Nigeria. Where does Nigeria want to be? Where do we want Nigeria to be? There is life after 2023. I would have expected her to look for a southern candidate who fits all these things that benefit Nigeria and go for not another northern Nigeria, and whom she said is between the devil and the deep blue sea. And let me tell you, people who practice democracy and believe in nation building do not say that they are running out of time. You must identify a candidate that stands for Nigeria, that stands for the program of Nigeria, support him, canvass his support, whether you are going to win an election in 2003 or not.
Okay, Dr.
If you insist
Yakasai,
that you must support the candidate that will win in 2003, it means you are serving yourself because you want somebody who is the president of Nigeria so that you benefit in that government. So I don't think it's patriotic enough.
Dr. Tanko Yakasaya, let's even look at this because our time is almost up. There's also the issue of capability. I know that Janatu Mohammed made mention of the fact that Tinubu is not capable to lead this country. And then again, the opposition party now, the PDP, have also had that same sentiment. And they are asking, because just on the papers this morning, we saw that the camp of the former vice president, now Atiku Abubakar, is saying that Tinubu constantly gaffes when he is doing his campaigns. So what would you say? Do you think that Tinubu is capable enough with all of these inefficiencies to lead this country?
I have watched several campaign videos of Atiku gaffing, calling APC PDP or PDP APC, interchanging them where he didn't intend to. I have watched a younger person who is my friend. We've been together in the student union struggle in our school days, Tino, gaffing, calling APC, vote APC instead of PDP. You know, when you make speeches, you are bound to interchange things, what they call slip of tongue, and nobody is exempt from it. And not only that, the quality of leadership does not in any way relate with the oratory power of the person. So I have met Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu about 3 weeks ago. I have met him in person. I have chatted with him. I'm a medical doctor. I found him to be sound. I found him to be consistent, coherent, as opposed to what he said. She had in discussion in the last week, and he was attentive. He was alert. We visited him, my dad, Ali Tanko Yakasai, myself. I have a picture. I can share it with you. They had a close to 1 hour conversation, and he was coherent from the medical point of view that I stand. But he was consistent, and all those things she said, I didn't see it 3 weeks ago. So I don't think it's what you're saying is correct.
Okay, so with regards to all of these allegations, are you saying that, you know, Bola Ahmed Tinubu has the capacity to lead this country?
Bola Ahmed Tinubu is intellectually sound. he is in good mental health, and from the way he has run crisscross this country every day, moving from pillar to pole, from one state to another, campaigning, town hall meeting, engaging with citizens, senior and junior, who are asking for clarification. He is equally physically well and healthy. You cannot sustain this rigor
Thank you
in
so much.
these 2
Thank you
months,
so much, Dr.
and your
Umar
health will not
Tanko
show.
Yakasaya.
Atiku has not done that.
Thank you so much,
Atiku has not done
Umar
what
Tanko
Tinubu has done,
Yakasia,
and he claims to be
National
healthy.
Coordinator, Grassroots Movement for Asiwaju and Tinubu. Thank you so much for your time. It's always wonderful having you join us virtually on set. But that's the much we can take, and we say very big thank you for all the callers we had from across Nigeria this morning. We really do appreciate you. My name is Janice Kobon. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Definitely also like to apologize to those that we couldn't take their call. Thank you, Dr. Yakasai. Have a very beautiful day, sir.
Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you.
So we apologize for all those who tried to call us during the course of these interviews and we couldn't take your calls. Please try again tomorrow. You're a reason why we have a quality time on screen. My name is Uyai Aneka. We'll definitely see you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of our programming. We leave you with Sports Central.